What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Movie Emporium's movie review of Return to Silent Hill, the third film in the Silent Hill movie franchise that brings back director Christophe Gans. So Christophe Gans is back, of course, to direct Return to Silent Hill, which is actually based off Silent Hill 2. Silent Hill 2 is, of course, about James Sunderland, who is an individual that goes after his wife, who sends him a letter is from Silent Hill, even though she's been dead for 3 years. But this movie basically is a story of James Sunderland going to Silent Hill to find his girlfriend, because it's his girlfriend, Mary, in this movie. And he uncovers the dark secrets of Silent Hill, which include the nurses, which include the walkers, which include Pyramid Head. And it's basically an adaptation, a somewhat faithful adaptation to that story of Silent Hill 2 and James Sunderland's journey through Silent Hill and its machinations of evil and purgatory. So that's pretty much all you can say. He meets Abigail, of course. He meets Laura, and is basically, if you know the Silent Hill 2 story, you will understand what this movie is about. So there you go. So it's not really surprising that Christophe Gans is back. The first movie, which was, of course, co-written by Gans and Roger Avary, I really liked, to be fairly honest. I thought it was a fun, entertaining adaptation. It wasn't well received. I think it did actually pretty good. I think like $60 or $70 million. Revelations came out, and that was an adaptation of the third game, and that wasn't quite good at all, to be fairly honest. It had Kit Harington, and it was pretty bad. So Christophe Gans coming back is actually quite what I would call anticipating, because it felt like it was going to be a return to form. Christophe Gans is a pretty decent director. Brotherhood of the Wolf, I think, is actually a really good movie. So I was really looking forward to this movie, for a sense, to be fairly honest, as you know, somebody who's a fan of the first movie. And his love for Silent Hill 2 is not surprising, because they just remade that game, and it's considered one of the great survival horror games of all time. And James Sunderland's like a great, great character to be adapted into a movie. So the question really remains that with this movie being an adaptation of the second story, the second video game, is it at least a good adaptation, a good video game movie? It's definitely better than Revelations. I will give it that. It's 100% better than that garbage of a movie. Which I don't like saying garbage of a movie, but it was a really bad movie. But this is definitely not a very good movie. It's definitely a lower tier adaptation. It has fun moments. It attempts to do practicality with like the creatures, the lion figure, and the nurses, and of course the character of Pyramid Head, which is fairly underutilized in this movie, which is kind of sad, because he's like the major force to this story of Silent Hill 2 outside of Mary. But the CGI really kind of brings it down. It is very low budget, 2000s Asylum level quality of CGI, and outside of the winged creatures, the winged flesh eaters, it really doesn't do a very good job of telling the tale of Silent Hill very well, to be fairly honest. And when you see James running down the streets, and when you see him against the background of Silent Hill, it really does look like a early 2000s Spawn level of quality when it comes to the CGI, and it really takes the movie down a lot of levels, and it runs through this entire movie, and it's really bad, and it's really unfortunate, because if the CGI was much better, the movie would be much better. And on top of that, the story is condensed, because it has to be, from its like 12-hour story, and it really suffers from that. It makes it so confusing for people who don't know the Silent Hill 2 story, that by the time you get to the end of the movie, you're just like, what even happened? Like, what is the point? Like, it doesn't attempt to explain anything. It almost feels like a movie's just for the fans of Silent Hill 2, that once again is going to confuse a lot of people. And even me, who knows the Silent Hill 2 story, who knows Silent Hill in general, it was still just like, you're not really explaining it very well. You're not doing a good job. And I think the fact that Roger Avary, who's had some real problems in his past, is not back for this movie is also an issue, because, you know, maybe Christophe Gans is just not a very strong writer, but I do appreciate, once again, the practicality of the creatures really works, and I think I think actually Pyramid Head looked better in Revelations than he did here, but I think at least they attempted to make these creatures look somewhat cool. Some of them are really cool looking, but once again, James Sunderland's story is so prophetic and so unique and so interesting in how it pays out that this movie kind of skirts under the radar and kind of feels underutilized, and I don't feel pays off very well, that it just becomes not a great film, to be fairly honest. And it's such a shame, because once again, the first Silent Hill was a quote unquote great film, but it was an entertaining one that really did a really good job of portraying Silent Hill for what it was, which is a very demonic purgatory style world. But there's just a lot left to be desired about this movie, and the guy who plays James Sunderland does a competent job of being the guy. It's like, he, like, the bags under his eyes, and the fact that he's so tortured by his past and the revelations that he comes under. He does a decent job, and he's an actor who was, of course, in War Horse, but here it's just, he's not given a lot to do. He's not given a lot to portray in the world. There's too much green screen going on. There's too much CGI. There's not enough like metatextual ideologies behind what Silent Hill represents. I think overall I was just really disappointed by this movie. It has moments where it's cool. It has moments where it's very Silent Hill-ish and very Silent Hill-esque, where I think it works, but I think overall it's just a very disappointing movie, to be fairly honest. It's definitely a January movie, and it's disappointing because I was excited for Christophe Gans to come back and do another Silent Hill movie, but I think they should have just done something different and not kind of like hearken to Silent Hill 2, because that story is played really well in the video game, that you could do something different like they did in the first movie, but they stuck with Silent Hill 2 and it was kind of a disappointment. So there you go. But with that said, that would be my take on Return to Silent Hill, which will be in theaters. So thank you so much for watching. In the comments below, have you played Silent Hill 2? What was your favorite moment of Silent Hill 2? Are you looking forward to Return to Silent Hill? Let me know in the comments. Otherwise, if you like what you see on this channel, hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium. Hit that notification bell at top to find what's coming next. Like the video, awesome. Hit that like button. And as always, we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out, guys.